profusely. We'll get to the Lakers game in a second. We got to start this.
I'd like to see a few more wrinkles, but defensively they got to get better. And I just think, look at Dwayne Casey, Nick Nurse in Toronto, Steve Kerr, Mark Jackson in Golden State. Sometimes it's time for a different voice, a different freshness to take a team to another level, because outside of Dame and CJ, they've got
healthy Blazers are LeBron's worst nightmare. And to quote Kevin Wildes, they are the first team on the, I think he called it the path of destruction or something, where it was like, this could be your life, LeBron. They could be Blazers and then Rockets and then Clippers. The gauntlet of death. And so to see the Lakers, Broussard, after losing game 1, whoop the Blazers in games 2, 3, 4, and 5. I don't know who in the world could have possibly predicted that. Except, of course, me, who predicted it from the very beginning and never strayed. So, I mean, I just think the Lakers, Broussard, I don't know if this quite matches LeBron's 3-1 comeback over the 73-win Warriors, but it's got to be neck and neck for level of upsets and shocks to see a LeBron James team. So I'm really impressed by that they were able to do it.
I think Nick is mistaking me for Charles Barkley, but look, I picked them in.
Or Acho or Cowherd or any of those guys.
Hurt. I think it may have gone sick. But look, Nick sat here less than 10 minutes ago and chastised the Clippers for being in a tight game in the fourth quarter with the Dallas Mavericks, who had their best.
That's right.
And he glosses over the fact that the Lakers are tied with Portland with midway through the fourth quarter, and Damian Lillard is with his son. That was a beautiful photo he sent out too, with his son outside of the bubble. So I'm not gonna make a big deal out of it. I just chuckle at it.
Just real quick, real quick, Broussard, I'll make a wager with you real quick before you finish. I will bet you $10,000 to $1 the Lakers are not tied with the Blazers at any point of Game 6. Like the Clippers were. 10,000 to 1 that at any point of Game 6 they're not tied because they're done. No, right, because there's not going to be a Game 6 because they beat them in 5. That's all.
Wow, so just saying, you guys know that's an illegal play.
Oh, hey, wait, America! I'm sorry, Wildes, America. Broussard, Wildes finally made a Lakers-Blazers prediction. It wasn't about who's going to win the series because he's too cowardly to go with his Blazers. Instead, it was about a rule change coming in 2027. Put it in your bet book, America. Go ahead, Wildes.
No, I did not. Broussard, back me up. Jenna, back me up. I said the Blazers were dangerous. It's like swimming with the sharks is dangerous. Doesn't mean every time you jump in the water, you're going to be devoured. I'm just saying it's dangerous. It's dangerous. I didn't predict, hey, Nick, if you jump in the water, you're going to lose both legs. I'm just saying it's dangerous. Keep your eyes peeled. There's sharks in the water. That's all I'm saying about the Blazers.
Yeah,
didn't seem dangerous.
Yeah, they weren't even dangerous.
Sweep them.
Yeah.
You know what they were?
They're dangerous for a game.
They were cute.
Broussard, you like the Blazers. You like the Blazers. We were like Blazer buddies, you and I.
Blazer buddies.
They were cute. They were nice for the bubble regular season.
What if